What's up, YouTube? It's Richie from Boston. It is September. We made it through another anniversary of September 11th, but we're into hurricane and northeaster season right now. So for those of you that follow this channel and want to be prepared and don't want to get caught, don't want to be at the mercy of FEMA, you don't want to be at the mercy of weather warfare, go to this website. You get a good deal. It's all made in America. It's packaged. It's shipped from America. They have emergency food, they have water filtration, they have heirloom seeds. It helps me and it helps you. Do not find yourself at the mercy of FEMA or some other government agency. It will come like a thief in the night. Links are in the description. I'm out. What's up, YouTube? It's Richie from Boston. It is the 12th of September. Yesterday was the 18th anniversary. So there's that. We made it through another one. One of my subscribers sent me a link to this, and it got me going on a specific thread, and I want to show this to you. Many of you understand that in 1913, the Federal Reserve was created by President Woodrow Wilson. That was a hard one. It's early, all right? Let me show you some things here that might actually freak you out, but it should enlighten you, and it's completely historical fact, and already it is being buried and erased in the Google searches. That's a new thing. The algorithms have changed. If you find information that you think is worthy, save it, because it will be gone. Woodrow Wilson was the president, WW. He was the president that was put into office in 1913 to help bring the creature from Jekyll Island, or the Federal Reserve, into being. The Federal Reserve has been up and running for over 100 years, and this is a quote that Woodrow Wilson said. Some of the biggest men in the United States in the field of commerce and manufacture are afraid of somebody, are afraid of something. They know there is a power somewhere so organized, so subtle, so watchful, so interlocked, so complete, so pervasive, they had better not speak above their breath when they speak in condemnation of it. Now, you may or may not have heard that, but that is what the guy that is responsible for pushing the Federal Reserve Act through Congress said. And this is what it's showing up as in our new history. They're already using MetaBunk. They're already getting rid of it. Do you see what I'm saying? This is a fact. This guy said this a long, long time ago, and it should still stand. But they're already erasing it, so forth and so on. Well, one of my subscribers sent me a link to this guy right here, and I was not familiar with his work whatsoever at all, but it's Edward Mandell House. I may have heard about him a long time ago, but I just didn't remember him. The link was sent by YouTuber Liz Lacoste, and check this out. This is a quote that he was quoted as saying, "Very soon, every American will be required to register their biological property in a national system designed to keep track of the people and that will operate under the ancient system of pledging. By such methodology, we can compel people to submit to our agenda, which will affect our security as a chargeback for our fiat paper currency. Every American will be forced to register or suffer not being able to work or earn a living. They will be our chattel, and we will hold the security interest over them forever. By operation of the law merchant under the scheme of secured transactions, Americans, by unknowingly or unwittingly delivering the bills of lading to us, will be rendered bankrupt and insolvent." Now, the bills of lading he's talking about are your birth certificate. "Forever to remain economic slaves through taxation secured by their pledges. They will be stripped of their rights and given a commercial value designed to make us a profit, and they will be none the wiser, for not one man in a million could ever figure out our plans, and if by accident one or two figure it out, we have in our arsenal plausible deniability. After all, there is only one logical way to fund government, by floating liens and debts to the registrants in the form of benefits and privileges. This will inevitably reap to us huge profits beyond our wildest expectations and leave every American a contributor to this fraud, which they will call social insurance or social security. Without realizing it, every American will insure us for any loss we may incur, and in this manner, every American will unknowingly be our servant, however begrudgingly. The people will become helpless and without any hope of their redemption, and we will employ the high office of the president of our dummy corporation to foment the plot against him. This was Edward Mandell House in a private meeting with Woodrow Wilson. He said this, who even knows how long ago? But it still stands to this day because it's happening right now. And it just backs up exactly why they put Trump into office. Do you see what I'm saying? It all makes perfect sense now. This stuff goes back. This has been a long, drawn out plan. This is not something new whatsoever at all. These guys have planned. They don't plan like you and I do. They plan the long game. And now every single time you turn around, there's a new article in the news, if you happen to look for it, where they're talking about weakening and collapsing the dollar. This is exactly what we've been talking about for years, and here it finally comes. I can't stress it enough. It takes a long time to take down the entire world, but then to take down the 350 million plus people in the United States that believe that they are free, that are still armed. Do you see what I mean? Do you think there's a reason that they're constantly genetically modifying, fluoridating, medicating, flooding the United States with drugs? Drugs could not get into this country if the CIA didn't make it happen. And it turns out every time you turn it around, there's more proof that that's exactly what happened. It's old news now, but people don't understand. Flooding the country with cocaine decimated the place. It all started at the Tavistock Institute. It all started with the Beatles. It started with the Grateful Dead. It started with acid. It started with LSD. It started with tune in, drop out, drop it, whatever. You know what I'm saying? And it worked like a champ. It worked like an absolute champ. Dr. Timothy Leary, he was a Harvard professor. Harvard. What do we know about Harvard right now? Well, they're the ones behind the spraying of the skies that just goes on nonstop, on and on, doesn't seem to ever come to an end. Do you see what I'm saying? These guys are and have been behind everything. Everything. The United States was a country based on religion, based on morals, based on neighbors, based on community. We did not want to go to war quickly, but that's now, going to war now, everybody wants to go. Police officers are all dressed like soldiers now. Back in the old days, a policeman was somebody that would actually give you directions, help you get a kitten out of a tree, etc. Now, they're dressed like soldiers. Now, they're ready for war. And who's the war against? It's against the American people. It's pretty straightforward. You see what I'm saying? All this information has been hidden, but it isn't. Do you see what I'm saying? If you search for it, you can still find it. Edward House wasn't a nobody. This guy was a big deal. In 1913, he helped to pick the charter members of the original Federal Reserve, with Woodrow Wilson as the president of the Corporation of the United States. The United States is not a free country, it's a corporation. Your birth certificate is basically traded on the stock market. Do you see what I'm saying? Nobody can own anything anymore due to property tax, inheritance tax, etc., etc., etc. And it's all coming to an end. It's all coming to an end. I showed you this morning in the video I put up, the interview that I did with the guy that runs Trade Genius. Trump wants to weaken the dollar. The entire globe is getting ready for a recession. Are Americans talking about this? Are you seeing this on the nightly news? All you're seeing is absolute fluff and nonsensical bullshit. Do you see what I'm saying? Be ready. Be prepared. This has been going on a long time. America has always been a Freemasonic experiment, and it's coming to an end. All they needed was to build us up so that the only job, the only employment, the only thing Americans cared about was war. It's all we do, and nobody seems to care. At any rate, I hope this was helpful. Links will be in the description. Richie from Boston, and I'm out.